Hey buddy, and welcome to Rauta's Reviews. This time I have something very special for you to show and talk about, because it's not like too often I get vinyl boxes or special editions for review. Usually you get your ordinary CDs and, well, random LPs. But this time I have something very special in terms of Swedish black metal, and this one is called Allegiance, with the complete album anthology, Himmelen, hangagud, Blodörnsoffer and Vrede. That is the whole album discography by this very Swedish band that ceased to exist so many years ago. Only 3 albums done, but still worth taking a look, worth taking a listen. Let's start unboxing this beauty. Obviously I have been spinning these albums before making this review, so I know what to talk about. I only remember for sure listening to the first album in the 90s, but these other 2 albums not so much. And what this nice packaging really includes is, first of all, this nice thick cardboard package, you know, with the necessary information and all that stuff. And then we have obviously the albums. Second album, Blodörnsoffer. I'm gonna talk about these individual albums very soon, but first showing the contents. Then we have these booklets from 1989 to 1999. That is basically the era when the band was active. We have a poster here. These are something that I didn't even open before making this video, so I'm very much a virgin when it comes to taking a look at the booklet and the poster. Then we have this first album, Himmelen, hangagud, and as you will soon notice, these are the original artwork used here, but just in different colors. And then we have the third album, Vrede. Oops. That's how you really drop your items. I'm trying to make a little bit of room here to show you the contents. There's also something sticking out, and that is a sticker. This booklet, like I said, I have no idea what it includes, but it seems to be the same way as the previous Malign Demo 195 demo, which was recently released also by the very same label, Helder Skeller, as vinyl release, and that one also featured a booklet similar to this size and content, that is interviews. And obviously by this point I haven't read these interviews, so not gonna comment what it includes. But then again, would make no sense. This video would be like 30 minutes long. I'm just gonna browse it for you so you get the idea what lies inside of this box, what you will find in case you just buy this one. And there are reasons why to buy this one. I mean, it's not because just of the packaging, nice vinyl edition, but also because of the actual music here, because obviously that is the most important thing here. So inside you will find these vinyls, traditional black vinyls. There's not much to show you really. Then we have these individual inlays with some lyrics and photos. So you will see the lineup, and you will now already notice some famous names like Bocke, which is P. War from Marduk, and also Fredrik Andersson, who used to be the drummer of Marduk. And as such, Allegiance was back in the days thought like a Marduk side project. And for obvious reasons, we'll get to that as well later on. Then we have this third album, Blodörnsoffer, with a similar nice embossed golden color with black and white cover otherwise, but all the texts are like this golden embossed quality. And then we have a new lineup picture here for the second album. And now you have to understand, while this band had only a short career, everything happened very, very quickly. So all these 3 albums came out in a span of roughly 3 years. So a lot of what was going on with the Allegiance camp back in the days, but also that was the time when Marduk was very active. And you can pretty much guess what happens when you have a band size of a Marduk doing their career all the time, getting bigger, more shows and all that stuff. And then you have a band that is recording album almost on yearly basis. You can pretty much figure out it's not gonna last for long, especially when 2 guys out of 3 on this third album are essentially, well, these Marduk members. So this is how it looks. In my opinion, one of the sweetest releases I've gotten to review here on Rauta. So let's now take a look at this Allegiance site on Metal Archives. So as you can see, the band was founded in 1989 and it started as a death metal band, but quite soon, that is, by the time the first album was going to be released, it was already black metal. Now some say it's kind of a black Viking metal, and while there are definitely some kind of a folkier or Viking metal elements in the music, it's definitely still kind of a Swedish black metal. And not the worst kind, I must add. This is actually quite good in the terms of they had their own sound, they had their own feeling, and it's not like just Marduk spin-off with a little bit different ideas. While you definitely have quite of Mardukian elements here with the music, it's also at the same time somewhat different, and in a fresh, healthy way, which in my opinion means that Allegiance could have become a bigger and very successful band if they just had it keep going. But like said, when you have members who are busy with Marduk, I mean, when you have the kind of a core content, drums and guitars and even some vocals done by the same guy who is also playing in Marduk for a long time, well, the trouble is right there. You kind of end up in a situation where you probably have to choose between the different bands. I don't know if this is the full story, probably not, but the point here is you essentially will run out of time. You have to do prioritizing things, and that sometimes, my friends, mean that something's gonna give up, something's gonna die, that the other one is gonna live. Now, Hangagud is the first album that came out in 1996, and I am pretty sure that I heard it around late 90s. Can't really just pick the total proper year what it was, but a couple of years later, I would say, because I remember listening to this a long time ago, and I remember still the original art here, which is kind of a gruesome, grim. And all these 47 minutes or so is actually quite nice. I mean, the production is really strong, so these guys already know, but they knew back then how to make it sound powerful. Clearly the Marduk experience and all that might have taught them a trick or two. And as a result, this sounds really good, even to this nowadays. I mean, it's 25 years old by now. And the songwriting is pretty good, but it's, in my opinion, not the level that Marduk already had going on. Then again, given that this is the first album, even though there were quite a few demos out there, this is definitely quite enjoyable, but there are some riffs and parts which are not that catchy. It's good, but it's not like mind-blowingly like, wow, it's not one of those albums. Kind of a classic, which is way too easy to just be, overlooked. But in my opinion, totally deserves its attention. There are some nice parts, and the kind of a Viking metal ideas here just make it more interesting than if it had been just a Marduk copycat. Now, the second album, Blodörnsoffer, is a little bit more mature with the same idea. But in my opinion, it's also a little bit more dull than the first one. I mean, the production is even more solid with this one, and you have the raspy vocals probably be more progressive, and by that I don't mean it's weird style or anything, just more experienced with the vocals and all that stuff. So everything here is a little bit more mature, but also a little bit duller. And I would say this is the most, well, let's put it this way, the least good of all Legia's album. I don't want to say it's bad because it's not. It's actually quite good as well. But maybe it came way too quickly after the first one. I mean, it's only like 1 year span between these two. And this probably could have taken the benefit of more extra time in terms of songwriting and honing the whole album. Definitely worth taking a look, but like I said, in my opinion, it's the least good. Now, what surprised me, because I don't even remember hearing this, maybe I have, but I don't have any recollection, not of the cover here, not the music. So when I was listening to Vrede as the last of these three, because obviously I was going in the chronological order, I felt like this is the best of all Legion's album. Not by far, but I mean, it's much like the first album and also the second album, but everything literally, is a little bit better than the previous ones. Because the songwriting is even more solid. The production is once again a little bit better. I would say it's close to perfection, really. And the vocals also, everything here is like a step forward. And in my opinion, this is very much on the verge of being really good. You know, somewhere between quite good and really good. This is one of those albums that, in my opinion, would have been the stepping stone for the really kind of a breakthrough album. That is, if the band had kept going. So what I'm essentially saying here, I don't really agree with these review scores here, rating Vrede as the least good versus Himmelen hangagud being the best one. But obviously it's just my opinion. All in all, these are very close to each other. You know, it's more nuances, differences, which one is the better and so forth. But all in all, I'm saying none of these are exactly great or superb, but they are all quite good or good albums, which makes this whole box with its all the interesting contents here. I mean, this is a beautiful piece of reissue art, in my opinion. If I were to ask, like, what kind of vinyl presentation old bands that have now left the building, or bands that need reissues, what they would deserve, I would say these totally deserve this kind of treatment. A nice package, you know, this kind of a nice box here, basically, where you can just slide in these beautifully done reprints with, you know, these kind of interview booklets and, well, even those stickers and posters. So all in all, this is the kind of stuff what I would like to see in the future as well. Not only from Helter Skelter, who have been done tremendously wonderful job with so many cool reissues, and I hope they will be making them in the future as well, but from other labels, to showing the love, the devotion, the dedication to good music. And even so Allegiance is not, you know, the next Marduk, I still think even these smaller bands deserve this kind of attention when the music is good and when there is understanding that these kind of albums have a place in different homes for people who maybe missed them back in the 90s. I mean, there's a whole generation of newer fans who probably missed the band, you know, back in the days, and who would still like to listen to it nowadays. So I hope these kind of boxes will be made in the future, and in case I got you interested in Allegiance, go to check out the music. The links is provided. The links are provided in the description box. Listen to the music, and in case you like it, this is the version you want to have. Definitely the definitive edition of Allegiance Legacy. Thank you for watching this lengthy review. I hope you enjoy it, and take care. Goodbye, and have a happy 2021.